Want some, get some. Can I get a hell yeah?
Yes, I am a pirate.
You have to go with the pirates because, of course, they have cannons and everything.
It's a pirate's life for me.
Be proud of who you are and what you are. You're pirate.
It is a first down. Pirates.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
I think I've ever been in a building as loud as that was. It was deafening in there.
You live with Omaha. I can promise you that.
And it's purple all night long in Eastern North Carolina.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down of my soul, and I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode.
All right, welcome into TSO on deck. That means it's Thursday night, and ladies and gentlemen, we are down to a trio. But you know what? This trio can rock out the stadium. And to bring in our lead guitarist tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring in Alan Vick. What's up, dude?
Hey, man, Dave, how you doing? How's everything going?
All right. Have you been working on your new riff you were telling me about?
I've been working on my riff using my extra finger. And yes, I'll have it perfected here within the next week or two.
All right. And also our rhythm guitarist tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he's also very good at stats. Johnny Stats Robertson. I'll tell you what, you definitely work hard. You're part of the band, and we like having Johnny Robertson on stage with us.
Wow. It's funny you're talking about that because I just realized, well, I always wanted to mention this, but I always forget. The intro always gets me fired up when we have Mike Leach and then Jimmy Buffett. Those two together, that just gets me fired up. So, yeah, that would be my style if I'm a rhythm guitarist, acoustic guitarist. I'd be like the Caribbean kind of a dude, warm weather guy.
Well, no doubt, Alan Vick. I was told that you're like our other staff, AMS certified, NWA certified meteorologist. I could say other things. I just thought something funny. I can't say because it's a family show, but let's just say that the man is a master of all trades. He does it all. And I understand that you have a prediction that you're going to, you have the Alan Vick, Analytics, is that what it is? We talked about that football season.
Yep.
But your graphic, your model, your Analytics is saying we're going to get like 2 feet of snow. Is that?
Well, looking at all the models, Dave, and studying the data, as I do often, my prediction for most of Eastern North Carolina is probably in the 4 to 8 inches range at this point. Now, along the beaches, it could be snowpocalypse.
Oh, wow.
But it does look like most of Eastern North Carolina is going to get a substantial snow, and hopefully I'm going to get some snow cream, and I'm going to like it, and that's all that matters.
Johnny has gone back.
Yeah.
To Back in Black. He's gone back to Northern Virginia, to the mountains. And, Alan, I think we're going to have to go searching for him in a couple of weeks. Because
no, I'm back here. I'll give some advice. I don't know what kind of accumulation we're going to get, but I'll just throw this out there. Anybody that has an outdoor, heat pump or air handler, whatever you want to call them, 4 bricks and a piece of plywood over top, because my unit just got caked with ice and then it stopped working, and that wasn't a good situation. Luckily, I have a wood stove, and I'm on auxiliary heat, but that's not really warming it up as well as it should. And it was, but I don't think we're going to get a lot of ice down in Greenville, are we? I think that's mostly snow.
Right. It's not going to be an ice storm.
So last week was ice. This is snow. So I absolutely cannot stand. Who likes ice anyway?
Not good for anything.
Snow, because people think they can drive on ice. And I'm like, dude, I don't care that you're from up north. I don't care that you have a 4x4. if you slide on the ice, you're sliding on ice. I mean, I don't care how good of a drive. And both of you have something in common. I just realized I've never thought about. I was getting ready to talk about NASCAR. Both of y'all are like me and love NASCAR. So, but you're going to be trading paint with some other cars. You're going to be in the ditch if you drive fast on ice. Now, snow can be treacherous too if you don't have like up in. I saw a thing. I don't know about you guys, but I love the North Carolina mountains also. And Sugar Mountain had, if you want to, like, in other words, go up the mountain to put your chains, your snow chains on. So anyway, it's gonna be great. I really think this is going to be redemption for the forecasters. And there's so many. The thing that gets me now with technology, guys, there's so many. I was joking with Alan, but there is so many models, so many this, so many that. At the end of the day, open up your back door, your front door. And whatever is happening. Don't get so sucked into it. Can really, like today, I was just caught myself and I was like, man, there's so many. This guy's saying one thing and this person's saying this and this. It can be a little too much.
Pick one of our local meteorologists and stick with it, and pick one reputable source on the internet, and there are some, and stick with it. The ones that are not trying to monetize their sites for clicks and money. Those are the ones you stay away from. Most of the time, the guys and girls around here get it pretty close. We might not think so, but even the last storm a couple of weeks ago, it turned out what they said for us turned out to be true. So they didn't miss it far at all, and we're very lucky to have some real pros on television and radio in Eastern North Carolina.
No doubt. By the way, we're going to talk East Carolina baseball. I know that's why people are here. We are going to do that, and thankfully, we're not going to be starting this weekend, guys. I could see Alan Vick out there, the third baseline with a parka and your gloves and a big toboggan on, covering the game. But anyway, guys, I did want to say something that I'm really thrilled about. April the 25th, we're going to be playing that weekend. We're going to be playing South Florida. And I want to personally invite everybody on TSO, the guys on the show with us, all the guys and ladies that watch and listen. We're going to have a really big tailgate, not for TSO, but if you're a TSO person or East Carolina baseball person, the Alumni Association for the Eastern North Carolina chapter, we're throwing a really big tailgate that Saturday afternoon, and we would love to have you out. Don't worry, I'm going to remind everybody. But I wanted to throw it out there. Johnny Robertson, Alan Vick, everybody. I want everybody out there. And Alan, your fan club alone could bring, hundreds of people, thousands of people.
At least 5.
Okay. All right. I'll mark you down. I'll put the reservation down. And Johnny, all your fans too. You're the newcomer, but you're man. I tell you what, you're getting a lot of fans quick.
Spare me, Dave.
All right, let's talk what we're here for, and that is baseball. I just wanted to make sure that we go ahead and start plugging that day. I want to make sure we have a huge crowd at April the 25th, every game actually for baseball. We were talking about last week that we would talk position by position. Johnny, I know that we're going to have Justin joining us. Kyle, everybody's asking me, where's Kyle? I'll tell you where Kyle is. He's at the grocery store. And if you cannot get any bread or milk, right, Alan, blame it on Kyle.
If they're out of Klondike bars at your local grocer, now you know why.
Yeah, no doubt. And so, but you get the best of the best here. You get Alan Vick, you get Johnny Stats, and myself. I'll at least say 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Like Meatloaf. We're going to talk about positions, and where do you want to start, Johnny? You want to start first base?
I would start by saying that anything that we say, don't read too much into it, because even the coaching staff does not know. And let me follow that up with this. Every season, at the end of the year, go back and look at the opening weekend starting lineup. It never stays that way. I mean, not even close. There's always a lot of changes. So we're really discussing the lineup, I guess, for opening weekend, but it certainly there'll be a lot of different variations of that throughout the season. But yeah, where do you want to start? I assume we should start at catcher, I guess.
You want a catcher? All right. Yeah, we have 3 catchers, right? Off the top of my head.
Yeah,
right.
we have Walker Barron returning, Michael Kalinich, and Blade Carver is a junior college transfer. Big power. Blade's got a lot of power in his bat. At media day, I was really shocked to hear that Walker Barron was being challenged by Kalinich. I mean, from what I know, from what I've seen from left field, Kalinich's defensive game was not there yet. Now, a lot of time has passed since the season has ended.
Right.
I'm sure, he's worked very hard. But I would just think that Walker Barron is the guy. Maybe, I heard Stephen Igo, he's got a pretty good pulse on things, I would say. He said that he thinks that maybe Cliff just said that to try to push Walker Barron a little bit. And I thought about that, and that does make a lot of sense, because initially that comment didn't make any sense to me, but maybe that's what it is. But I think we're going to see Walker Barron behind the plate come opening day.
Well, Alan, want to get your thought on this. I think I do agree that obviously competition is a great thing. I think after last year, Alan and I were in the booth, and it's like he and I looked at each other, I think one time, and it's like, I was teasing him, are you going to go out there and pitch, or are you going to go out there and play a position? Because we had so many injuries. So for me, Alan, I don't know how you feel, but I do think Walker is the number one guy. But if Walker goes down, God forbid, but if we have injuries, we're not going to be like last season. They've done an excellent job, which we'll talk more about, in the transfer portal, getting depth on this team. And I think for me that it's Walker's definitely going to be the number one, and they might push each other. Walker will be number one, but we've seen many times it's nothing new to see more than one catcher, especially 56 games for a regular season. You've got that guy can't be doing 56 games. So
yeah, excellent point.
Yeah, last year we didn't really have an option as a backup catcher. We did, but we didn't. This year, I think Kalinich is more of a backup option, and I've heard some talk that his game has progressed quite nicely, over the spring or winter or what have you. And so I think I'd be comfortable with either one of those guys. I don't know a lot about catcher 3, but like Johnny said, I did hear that he had a pretty good pop in his bat. But I'm comfortable with Kalinich, if need be, to come in and take care of business.
And it may be that you need Walker to have a day off. So on Sunday you give Kalinich, you've already clinched the series. So you give Walker, I'm not saying it's going to be, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's every Sunday, but it's the same thing, Alan, with and Johnny with the Hurricanes. You have like always a starter, for your goalie, but every once in a while that goalie needs a break. I mean, you have 82 games, I know it's not the same sport, not the same thing, but it's the same as far as the player needs a break mentally, the whole 9 yards, physically, emotionally.
I mean, I don't think anybody saw that coming last year that Walker was going to be behind the plate every game but 2, I believe. We had Justin Wilcoxon and Ryan McChrystal. Now, Justin was starter, he was 1A, but, Ryan got probably 20 plus starts. It was pretty evenly matched. I know Ryan always caught Root, first of all. And then he, had some other games in there. So he probably had about 20 games that he caught, which is nice. And then, the other one could be the DH. You don't have to not play. It's just not being behind the plate every game. So
there's so much wear and tear on your body in that position. I was amazed what Walker was able to do last year, catching all but 2 games. But just the physical, beating that you take as a catcher, it's good to have some relief from time to time.
No doubt. And Johnny, one of the things that you saw, and I know Alan and I being there at the media day, is the theme was certainly depth, and it was, as I think Coach Palumbo said, the perfect storm, where you have those young kids, as we said last week. It was young kids. The buy-in there wasn't until late. And then you factor in the injuries. That was kind of like 2025. And so this year they've worked their tails off, and they've gotten a lot of depth. I mean, you can go across every single position on the field, all 9 positions. And I tell you what, Alan, Johnny, do you want to go next to pitcher, or did you want to go to first base?
I mean, we should just do the go around the diamond and then maybe do the pitchers last. First base, you know, I've heard some talk that Austin's worked at third base, but I just don't, you know, I don't know anything, you know, nearly as much as Cliff does. But to me, Irby's first base, Colby is third. And why mess with it? I mean, I think, what did Colby have, 2 errors last year? At third, he's a Golden Glove at third base. You just, that's a luxury that we don't need to mess with. And Austin Irby played a real good first base as well. So I have a feeling Austin's going to be at first base again, and I feel like he should be.
Most definitely. You know, Alan, he was one of those kids that, I mean, they were so young last year. We were very, very young. And that was what was cool about that tournament. You know, I wish I could have flown into that tournament, even if it was for the last day. But winning the American and having to win the American, that was very good. I know this is stating the obvious, but that was very good experience for those kids because they were so young. And then some of them were talking about, they realized, hey, we can really do this. You know, and you forget that these kids are young. Like, those guys were like 18, 19 years old, coming in at a level extremely high for Division I, not only Division I baseball, but we're always a top 25 perennial team. The expectations, it should be high because we're East Carolina in baseball. And you think about a kid like Irby, you saw the tournament, or right before the tournament, it finally clicked for him. The game finally slowed down.
Those kids grew up an awful lot in the last month of the season last year, and they needed to. I mean, obviously, for a lot of reasons that we won't go back into because it's a new season, but things were not going well, and the results showed it. But, you know, those kids, they walked in there as freshmen, you know, February, whatever, last year. But by the time, you know, the season was over, these kids were no longer freshmen by any stretch of the imagination. And that's why there's so much optimism this year. You know, they grew exponentially by leaps and bounds so much last year. That's why I think at just about every position, everybody's excited.
Yeah, Johnny, do you want to stay first, or are you going to go to second?
Well, I mean, I just feel like Austin Irby's first base. If you want to talk about people that might be able to come in, if we wanted to try Austin somewhere else for an inning or two, you know, Alex Boucher could certainly, Colby Wallace could go over there. Alex Boucher.
I think Boucher is going to have a big bounce back year. I really do.
You know, Johnny and I were talking about Alan, is that I want to get your thoughts, Alan, but you think we're talking about East Carolina, and I'm not trying to make us bigger than we are. But we are one of the best teams in the country. There's no question about it. Like Cliff talked about, we're the 4th most winningest team, Johnny, since 2018, 19?
Yeah, that's what Cliff said. There's other metrics where we're number 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you want to consider postseason in there, we're like at the top. So there's so many different ways you can slice it and dice these stats, and we're favorable. We come out favorably no matter how you do it, because we just win a lot. At least I say we. I'm not on the team. They win a lot.
Well, the reason why I brought that up is that I feel like the kid is has a lot of potential. He obviously has a lot of talent. I think Johnny, and I'm not going to steal this from you, Johnny and I were talking a couple weeks ago. He made a great point. I think when he was playing at shortstop, I think it was really getting to him. I think that there was a lot. He put, in my opinion, watching him, it was like, he's not my son, but it felt like watching your son, and they put too much pressure on themselves, and you're like, gosh, I wish I could just be out there with him and whispering, it's okay, just calm down, you know, like that. But he was putting weight. That's just my feeling. I don't know that to be the case. That's just my gut feeling watching those games in the stadium all season long. And Johnny was like talking last year, like how many errors he had. And I think it just became like this thing, like mentally, like, that he couldn't do it. You know, he'd already made so many errors that it just got to him and he couldn't get out of his head. That's just my opinion. I don't know that to be.
I think we talked about it last week. I might be wrong, but I think we did. And I feel like there were some fans that just were like ready to run him out of town. And I was kind of rooting for him.
Yeah.
Just stop this streak. But it became apparent, Dave or Alan, that it wasn't gonna happen. There was just something in his head, and he wasn't gonna be able to fix it by himself, game to game. So I think what Cliff did was, Braden Burris finished the last 8 games of the season, which was all of the conference tournament, and all of the regional at Coastal at second base, and played very well. And we have so many outfielders, especially we have so many people capable of playing a really, really good center field.
It's like 4 guys, right?
Yeah. Braden, first of all, 0% chance he's not going to be in the lineup every day. So you got to find a spot for him. I think second base makes sense to me. I don't know. I think that, he's already proven he can play there. So we got Carlos Yacame as well from South Florida. He's played second base. But, I'm going to go with Braden Burris at second. That's what I'm going with.
What you like, Alan?
Yeah, I agree. I think Burris solidified himself, last year at the end of the season. There's no reason to believe he won't be there. And I'm just going to go back and say that I think Alex Boucher is going to bounce back in a big way. Whatever role that he plays on this team, I really, really believe that he is going to get things turned around and be very productive for the Pirates.
No doubt.
Alan, to expand on that, Alan, I feel like he's already garnered the respect of Cliff and the rest of the team by the way he handled himself last season.
Right.
And I think Cliff spoke to that in the press conference, if I'm not mistaken. But he's even willing to go in there and pitch. He just wants to win, So I hope you're correct about that. I just feel like there's not a lot of places where we can put him. So he'll either be DHing or maybe he'll get on the mound here and there. Maybe he'll play some first base. I don't know, but I think you're right. I think he will have a good year. I just don't know how many at-bats he'll get, but who knows? I mean, that's a good problem to have. You have too many good players to have enough at-bats for all of them. But
he comes in and is productive. They'll find somewhere to
they will
put him in the lineup. So it's hot, then you roll with it. But it's going to be interesting. Like, depth is a great problem to have, and we are eat up, to use a technical term, with depth this year, and that's a good thing.
Ron White was loaded, and that's he was talking about his wife's parents, his in-laws. They were loaded.
Yeah,
we're loaded. We're loaded, and Johnny, it's a good problem to have for us. And when you have a show, you got to have something to talk about, right? So we have our On Deck show. If you're just joining us and saying, "What the heck is going on?" They're usually on Sunday nights. Don't worry, Extra Innings will be here, obviously, right after the Xavier series, that Valentine's Day weekend. What is that? The 15th, I think, is that Sunday night. But we're going to be starting here pretty soon on the 8th. Will be our first Extra Innings. But just want to remind everybody that is going to be every Sunday night at 8. But this year, not only do you get the wrap-up show, if you will, the post-game show, for the weekly show, but you also get the preview show, which is On Deck. So I hope it's not like Nitro and Thunder, Alan. I hope this is not Thunder. We were talking wrestling pregame. So please tell me this is not Thunder. Please tell me, if you are watching, please tell me that this is going to be much better than Thunder.
It's our responsibility to give the fans the most comprehensive coverage of ECU baseball, and that's what the Sports Objective is doing. Because you don't have the long post-game shows on the radio. You got the 15-minute pregame, before the game. But post-game wise, it's pretty much an interview or two, and then it's back to regularly scheduled programming. So if you want comprehensive, analysis before and after, it's right here.
No doubt. And you can't do a show without stats, especially, Alan, with baseball. Baseball, you know what's funny is baseball, if you take a stats away from baseball, then, I mean, what do you have? Like, you've got to have something to fill the time. And so we have the GOAT,
The man.
Robertson.
The man. The world famous, no man can wear out a number 2 pencil faster than Johnny Robertson.
Hey, before we leave second base, I do want to mention that we did have a dynamic that happened quite a bit last year that affected the second baseman tremendously, and that was Dixon Williams. Colby's going to pitch. Colby's going to probably pitch more than he did last season, and or maybe not. Maybe he'll pitch less because we have a deeper pitching staff. In any event, Colby's just too talented, and he's going to get in there. And what that means is somebody's going to have to move to third base. Last year it was Dixon Williams, and then Nick Parham went to second a lot. Nick, I've seen him play summer ball with Colby. Those two played together for Charlottesville. And I'm telling you, Nick didn't get a lot of at-bats, but he's a very valuable piece. He can play anywhere. He can play third. He can play second. He can play shortstop. He can play first. He can play any of the outfield positions. So that's somebody, again, he's probably not going to get a lot of at-bats, but if Colby goes to the pitching mound, I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure maybe Braxton Trammell will move from maybe one of the outfield positions to third base would be my guess. And then we have, a wealth of outfielders. So, Nick going to second probably is not going to happen because I just don't see, I just don't. It's a different dynamic this year without Dixon. So I think we'll probably be putting maybe Braxton Trammell at third when Colby pitches.
Again, we talk about it, Alan. If you're productive as far as your defense and your offense, you're going to find. You said they're going to find a place for these guys. And I like the fact. I'll just say this. You know how much I love Cliff Godwin and Plumbo and the staff and Austin Knight. I'm glad they have this problem. I am so happy that they have no idea what the lineup is going to be. That means that we're deep. That means those guys, it's like a chessboard. You can move your pieces around there and trying to figure it out. But we do know that when you don't have the depth like last year, especially experience is what I'm getting at, then it can make a long season. And but I have a feeling that this season is going to be much better. Now, I don't know. I'm not a prognosticator, easy for me to say, but I really believe this is a super regional team. I'll stand by that based on talent. Whether they make it to the super regional or not, I'm not sure, but I do know that they have the potential. And then, we've been so close to Omaha several times in our lifetime, so close, man, that anything can happen. But I will tell you guys that I feel very good about this team. And Johnny,
I just wanted to mention something because I went to the Rice game last night, which was fun. I mean, I wish it would have turned out differently, but in any event, the entire baseball team was there. And if there were super regionals or a World Series for academics, we'd be a lock, I think, to be in the field.
Yeah. They could beat us.
All those guys were wearing their honor roll shirts and they were just having a great time. I talked to a couple of them. I don't want to bother them when they're trying to have fun at a basketball game, but Jeff Sabater was coming out the door when I was going in. I just said, "Hey, Jeff," I said, "Good luck this season. We're looking forward to you creating havoc on the base pass." I said, "But I have a question for you. I've heard your name in the press conference pronounced as Sabater, but I thought it was Sabater." And he said, "Yeah, you're correct. They're wrong." I said, "Well, why didn't you correct them?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just roll with it." He's a carefree kid. He doesn't care. Call me whatever you want. I don't care as long as I'm playing baseball.
By the way, our good friend Josh Thomas, want to give him a shout out. I can't remember a baseball team that's stacked in a long time. I'm pumped. And by the way, Josh, we're pumped up about your tailgates. We were talking about the April 25th Eastern North Carolina chapter of the Alumni Association tailgate for East Carolina. But man, Josh Thomas, I'm going to tell you something right now. If we have a challenge, if they ever put a challenge of fans, as far as tailgates, people that can cook, East Carolina will be world champions like just about every year. They will be finalists or champions every year, I promise you. And Josh Thomas, if that becomes a challenge, we need Josh Thomas in our lineup for sure.
Well, Josh was there last night. He witnessed the baseball team as well. Bunch of very well-behaved and just great kids.
I do.
They're still kids. I don't even know. I feel funny calling them kids. Most of them are bigger than me. Young men. How about that? They're just a great bunch of young men.
Hey, speaking of which, before you say that, Alan, hold on. I think I saw you with a fake ID to try to get one of those 500 beverages. Didn't you have one of those fake ECU IDs? I don't mean to call you out on the show, but I think I saw you on the TV last night. I saw you with a fake ID.
Yep, you are correct. The truth of the matter is I'm too old to get a free beer. There's an age limit the other way, and I exceeded that, so I missed it.
All right, well, life happens, right? So
yeah, at my age, they don't want me consuming any adult beverages that may, contribute to whatever's going on with me already.
You might run on the court. Alex running on the court, and
what a fun promotion. Let's be real. We're all disappointed with the way things are.
That was cool.
Basketball, but how cool was that? What regardless of the record in which Mike Schwartz is a class act.
Yes, he is.
A good dude, and that was really neat last night. I thought that was really cool. Especially, you don't have to do stuff like that when you're 5 and 15 or whatever it is. But he's still plugging away, still having fun, and I hope people appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, they never did. I will tell you this: they couldn't serve alcohol. That's how old I am, and they couldn't serve alcohol. So now, I wish we could have had that back in the day, Johnny.
Yeah, I hear you. Coach Schwartz was fired up last night, though. He's definitely still in the game, trying to. I'm talking about late in the game. I think there was less than 4 minutes left, and it was pretty much a lost cause. Although we did have a nice rally at the end.
Yeah.
But he never stopped coaching. I'll give him that. I definitely will give him that. He never hung his head or stopped. He wrung his hands a couple of times. He was frustrated, but he just he kept coaching the whole game.
Did we lose Alan? Alan, you there?
I see his name, but he's gone.
He'll be back in just a second. Make sure you like our show. Obviously, that gives a chance for more people to see it. Thank you. Another nice crowd tonight. Johnny is.
Hey, while we're waiting for Alan, I got something that we should discuss, even if for just a minute or two.
All right, he's back, but go ahead.
I don't see him,
guys. Sorry.
Oh, there he is.
Sorry about that,
Alan. Okay, so I think we should give this a couple of minutes.
Okay, go for it.
Because last night I also ran into somebody else that I spoke to. And I'm telling you, this guy doesn't even know my name. I'm sure of that. He doesn't know who I am. But yet, every time I see him, I get a shoulder rub. I get a pat on the back. I get a smile. And we know who I'm talking about. Everybody knows who I'm talking about. Yeah. And I just told him how important, it was for me when ever since I started going to Pirate games. I don't know. He's just always...
The guy
there's nothing fake about him either. It's all 1,000% genuine. And
what a class guy. I said this to somebody the other day, guys. If ECU athletics or athletics in general had about 1,000 more Matt Maloney's, it would be a much better place.
Absolutely.
And by the way, I said it many times. I'll say it again. I put it on a Facebook post on the Pirate Club. Please put him in the Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, we don't do it every year, which that's a whole nother show, as they say. Please bring that back every year, because what's happening is we have a lot of great people who are middle-aged, elderly, and they're going to pass away and never see their names on, like in the Hall of Fame. So we need Matt Maloney. Hey, here's another one for you. Speaking of someone that's a class act, a great guy, I know he watches our show. and he's a really good dude. Brian Bailey needs to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, come on. The guy has had many opportunities to leave Greenville, and he stuck with us. And yes, he did not like Matt Maloney. He may not have graduated from East Carolina, but by God, he is a Pirate. And those two guys right now, not to get on the Hall of Fame subject, but I will say those two guys right now need to be in the Hall of Fame with no questions asked.
Yep, that's a no-brainer for both of those guys for a lot of reasons. So whatever that process is, that needs to happen for both those gentlemen. Yeah.
And I know that people in the Ward Sports Medicine building, they watch our show and they listen, because if we don't do things right or say the wrong things, I would certainly be talking to, I would get a talking to. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, we'll definitely keep an eye out about that. Speaking of eye on things, you guys, I know that it's going to be not baseball weather this weekend, but what are you guys thinking as far as that Xavier crowd? I want everybody, even though it's a little chilly, I would love it. I would love to see that. I'm getting text, so I apologize. The person that's texting me, please stop texting me. I'm trying to do a live show. I cannot chew bubble gum and walk down the street. Okay, I'm a guy. I'm just a radio guy, and now we do this little show. But I appreciate. By the way, sincerely, guys, I want to say how much I appreciate so many people that watch our show, listen to our show. March 1st, Alan makes 8 years. You've been with me every step of the way. Y'all haven't seen Alan, but Alan's been a good champion for me, and I appreciate him. And he's put up with me. This July makes 30 years that we've been friends. So
I was 9. I was 9. You were 5 when we met.
That's correct. We were met in elementary school.
Yeah.
Wow.
We didn't go to the same school, but it all worked out. But Johnny,
I had a question for Alan, since he's the staff meteorologist. So I yield to him on this question. Alan, does it work in our favor that we might have a blizzard 2 weeks before the season? Are we getting all the bad weather out of the way, and then is it like sunny skies for opening day for that? Or because a lot of times it's very nice before the season starts, and then it's cold. So maybe this is a reversal. I don't know. I'm looking for anything here.
We've had some miserable weather, and a lot of games moved to start seasons in the past. Hopefully, we're 2 weeks out. Eastern North Carolina, it could be 30 and snowing, and then a week and a half later, 70 degrees and sunshine. So if the law of averages works out, and I am going to go ahead and go out on a limb and predict we're going to have beautiful weather for opening day for Pirate baseball. Valentine's weekend is going to be beautiful weather. Mark it down. I said it, and whatever time it is, whatever date it is, you can mark it down. It's going to be gorgeous at Clark for Xavier on Friday, February 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, we have 2 games on Friday the 13th.
By the way, Friday the 13th, make sure that you dress up as your favorite Halloween character and go into Clark LeClaire. There you go. There's a promotion. You can take it from me, baby. Let me ask you this, guys, really quick. We're talking baseball, but Halloween character, who's your favorite? Who would you wear? What would it be? Freddy? Is it Jason? Is it Michael Myers? I mean, who would you pick?
My favorite Halloween costume I ever wore, and it's been a while since I've worn one, the year that Sinead O'Connor tore up the picture of the Pope on Saturday Night Live, I went to a Halloween party as the Pope and tore up pictures of Sinead O'Connor.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So that was the wife, then girlfriend, who came up with that, and that was probably my favorite Halloween costume.
I love that.
And I just want to let you know, Alan, nothing compares to you.
Well, just remember, Prince wrote that song. So
he did. He's one of my all-time favorites. But again, another show. But Johnny, who do you like?
Okay, this is not my wheelhouse. I've made this declaration before. I'm either doing something outside, or I'm watching sports, or I watch very little movies. I'll be honest with you. There's some crazy movies that I've never seen, like movies that everyone in the world has seen but me. And as far as, of course I've seen Halloween.
Yeah, we're not asking you to, we're not going to like have a 2-hour sports objective on.
Yeah. I mean, nothing comes to mind like his favorite horror Halloween.
I agree with Josh Thomas. I'll just go ahead and tell everybody.
What do you say?
I'm Michael Myers all the way.
That's easy. Get a hockey mask.
He scares the daylights out of me. Jason with the hockey mask. Okay. And then Freddy just makes me laugh. Like the old school Freddy, the newer version was more, I guess, darker. But to me,
okay, I'll go with Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh man, there you go. Johnny's bringing it. Johnny Stats Robertson is bringing it. So there you go. So if you Friday the 13th, everybody's going to go nuts. They're going to like, why are all these people? It's not Halloween. Why is everybody wearing a Halloween costume to a baseball game? I don't know, because it's Friday the 13th.
I go dressed every year as a poor middle-aged disc jockey. So
there you go. I could. Hey, I've got plenty of costumes there. I could do that all season long. It doesn't have to be Friday the 13th. But
well, Dave, you're going to get we'll all get a second chance on March 13th, which is also a Friday. We're playing Pennsylvania on Friday the 13th.
I'm telling you guys, that's a great promotion. Come on. Have Halloween. There's all kinds of fun stuff you could do with that. I will tell you that maybe last year was scary. Last year was scary as far as our season, but this year it's not going to be scary. So you can bring the kids out. You don't have to worry about them being scared. We're going to win. I'm telling you guys, we're going to win a lot of games this year.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out pretty quick. Like I said last week, when Xavier comes to town, very early in the season, where we stack up.
That's true. And it's a long season. I just want to remind fans, even though I'm very bullish on this team, if we have a tough start, please do me a favor and be like the three guys on the show right now and support this team, because I'm a Pirate fan with basketball and with if it's football, whatever sport it is, I'm going to pull hard for the Pirates. And if their record is great, then I'm ecstatic. If they're not, I'm of course upset, but I'm going to be a true fan and pull hard for my school.
Do not be a fair weather fan. And I see that a lot, just reading comments, and I hate it. It makes my blood boil when I see, negative comments about whatever sport that may be going through struggles. Obviously you have to state, the facts of what's happening, but some of the comments, when they get mean and personal, I don't do that. If you're a true Pirate and a fan of anything, you stick with it through thick and thin. And
thank you, Josh.
And that's what you do.
Yeah.
We're not going 0-56, but if we did, I'm like Josh, I would be there as many games. I can't be there at every single game because it is a long season. I wish I could.
I'm going to vouch for Josh right now, because he's already proven that he's a loyal fan to whoever his team is, because we're both Atlanta Braves fans and we're in a group chat, and they play 162 games. They were pretty much eliminated after the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season, because, they lost to the first, 7-11 games, something like that.
Yeah.
Josh, every single game, he's commenting. He might be the only one commenting, but he's watching every game and rooting for the Braves, even though, there was no chance they were going to, make a run or anything. But that's his team, and he's loyal, and he's not giving up on them. So I respect that.
Alan, you pull for the Bad News Bears, right?
Man, let me tell you something. I have been the driver that I pulled for in NASCAR for years. Never won a race, never won a cup race. But
let's compare notes. Who is he? Just what manufacturer?
After Bobby Allison got hurt and retired,
Ernie, no.
I pulled for a guy named Hut Strickland.
Hut Strickland from Alabama. He drove the Circuit City. Yeah.
Yep. I was a huge
number 8 car.
Yeah, Hut and I still remain in contact to this day. I could tell you if Hut was running 35th, I could tell you why, and that's the way I was, and I was that way until he retired in 2002.
No, I liked Hut Strickland too.
I had heard that name, and I guess that's why.
How did he get that nickname though?
Hut was just a name. His dad owned a salvage yard, and everybody had a nickname. And his real name is Waymond. His was Wayman Jr. So they just started calling him Hut. and Hut stuck, and he was Hut from, I guess,
I didn't know that.
9 years old on.
I think it was a nickname, but I didn't know the story behind it.
Yeah.
Alan, so you don't have like, you don't do diecast or anything like that, do you?
I did a little bit back in the early 90s, but
okay. Now here's why I ask. There's a reason I'm asking. It's because I haven't bought one in a long time, because my wife is like, dude, what are you doing with these? They just stay in boxes. You don't even look at them. So no, I have a Hut Strickland number 8 Circuit City car that I will gladly give you if he's that. I mean, it sounds to me like that's somebody that is kind of close to you, and it's hard to find anything Hut Strickland, obviously.
I really appreciate that. I got some McDonald's stuff when he drove for McDonald's, but that Circuit City car, that's one of the coolest paint schemes of all time. And I was in Darlington in 1996 when he finished second to Jeff Gordon and led like 150 laps. And it broke my heart that day because he came so close to winning the Southern 500, and it didn't happen. But man, Hut's was my guy.
Okay, we'll figure out how to do it, but I'll make sure my wife will be happy. That's one less box in the attic, and
I appreciate that, Johnny. Thank you.
By the way, Alan, we'll have to go to a race together, but we are going to come down and see you. I've never been down to the racetrack, and we're going to come down there and see you this season. Johnny and I have already talked about that.
Guys at Carteret Speedway, that would be great.
Yeah,
we will. Hey, John White wants us to talk. Thank you, John. He wants to talk baseball. And John, of course, pitcher under Gary Overton. And he says the Coach O years, UNC and Coastal within a 2-week period is a true test of the depth, especially on pitching side. UNC has elite arms, as does Coastal. And, of course, Coastal guys finished second last year, as you know. We took them to the wire. We had a chance to win both games. We played them in the Conway Regional, but John is absolutely spot on. One of the things I love about Cliff Godwin is having, Jeff Palumbo. Those two guys we talked about it last week. They put together, they outdid themselves this year. It's that one heck of a schedule. And I think they know that they're going to have a really good team this year, and that it's good to have that resume of having tough competition. And when you play in the American, that non-conference competition. So, I do agree with you, John. And I like that. You guys like that UNC series as far as like,
oh yeah,
Greenville won and
1,000%.
Love it.
I wish we would get that with, other teams. Here's the thing. You've already mentioned patience. If things don't work out at the beginning of the season, I think we'll be fine. However, as far as the offense goes, John mentioned that the Tar Heels and Coastal Carolina have tremendous pitching staffs. So if we, if those 6 games, we're averaging 3.5, 4.5, 5 runs a game, don't freak out, because we're going to be an 8 or 9 run game a team, per game. But those 2 series are going to be tough on the bats, I have a feeling.
Yeah, Alan, when that very thing of having the tough competition, when you have a North Carolina series, when you have that Coastal series non-conference, and they're going to most likely, I can't imagine both teams not being in postseason and regional this year. Hoping that they'll be coming to us and not us on the road. I feel like we are going to be hosting a regional, but we'll see. But I will say that it's like a regional-like atmosphere when you have those games. And I would much rather play hard competition. That's the only way you get better. I'm glad that Cliff is not like putting cupcakes on the schedule. That drives me. I don't care what college sport it is or whatever. When you schedule easy competition, and then those are the same people. Well, I don't understand why we didn't make the tournament. We'll schedule harder teams next time.
How many teams every year are on the bubble of making the tournament, and they don't make the tournament because of strength of schedule?
Yeah.
That is the determining factor a lot of times to either getting in the field or not getting in the field.
And I would say, Johnny, whether you were talking about academics is certainly important, so don't get me wrong. But as far as the strength of schedule, I'm always proud. Coach Godwin, I think, said one time, if you want to play us in a grocery store parking lot, they're ready for you. And I love that attitude. We'll play you anywhere. And I love that.
Yeah. Those first 2 weekends are really going to be tough for Ethan Norby. What? I'm not going to say that because Ethan Norby's tough. I've heard, speaking of John White calls him a bulldog, and I'm stealing that from him because if anybody's a bulldog, it's Ethan Norby. He's going to have to face on Friday night Jason DeCaro of North Carolina and Cameron Flukie of Coastal Carolina. I mean, those two are supposed to go 2-3 in the Major League Draft, apparently. That's one person's opinion. So those are going to be tremendous matchups.
That's must-see baseball right there.
Yeah,
yep.
Exactly. That's what you want. If you're a competitor. Again, we're preaching to the choir. All the people watching, listening. Thanks for a big group again tonight. You want that tough competition. You want it, and that's like your adrenaline. Like, let's go. And you see, I asked Ethan Norby about that. You remember, Alan? It's like I love to watch his emotion, and I'm sorry if people get upset about it, but I love to see players show their emotion and how they're really feeling instead of just calmly walking off the field. I love the fact they're like, they know that every pitch matters, every out matters. And when you see that strike three and it's the third out and you see like that fist pump or whatever, I'm sorry, that just really that gets your juices going, man.
Well, baseball is such an emotional game, and it's not the type of emotion a player makes a tackle and gets up and dances, or a guy is 1 for 7 from 3, and when he makes that 3, he makes motions or whatever. Baseball, when you're pumping your fist or whatever you're doing, it's because you did something that's worthy of that type of celebration.
No doubt. And Johnny, we talked. Let's talk about the outfield.
Hold on a minute. What happened to shortstop? We got to have one of those. We're not going to do very well if we don't have a shortstop on the field.
Well, this year, I think we're going to be okay at that position.
Okay. All right. Who's going to be there?
Who you got?
Well, I mean, I don't know. You have any idea, Alan? I know who's in the running, but we got a freshman that has got just a great glove. Yep. He's from Florida. His last name is Lashley. Yep. And I always call him Rhett Lashley because the only Lashley I know is SMU's coach. So I always call him Rhett Lashley, even though that's not his name.
That was the first name that came to mind for me when shortstop was mentioned was Lashley.
Yeah, no, he's really good. He will have some competition, but I feel like even if he doesn't get the starting shortstop position, if there's a game where we're in the lead late in the game, he's coming in. He's definitely coming in to play shortstop. And so I have a feeling that it's either going to be him. Yakime again, he played second base. He's played shortstop. I don't know if he's in the mix at all. I know I'm forgetting somebody. It's Matt Lashley, by the way.
Matt Lashley, okay.
Yeah.
You Matt Lashley so much that that's what came to mind, and it's because of that very thing of the SMU coach. But
Ashley,
Braden can play shortstop too. That's another thing, and so can Braxton Trammell.
Yep.
So shortstop, it's going to be a needs thing. You're not going to put anybody there that's a liability defensively. We know that, but I don't think any of those players are a liability, even though it's their. Although Braxton played shortstop in high school, that was his thing, man. So we could see Braxton there, and then, like I say, I think Lashley will definitely play some games at short and maybe some late innings coming in for a defensive guy. So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes up. But we don't really have a depth issue at shortstop either.
No, we're pretty good there. Concerned about it all, and one of them is shortstop, just because that's such an important position. But I'm not maybe concerned is not the right word, but that's one of the two positions where if I had a concern, that would be one of them for sure. Just because of the names you mentioned. I mean, there's not Trammell is I don't know. I really think Lashley's going to wind up there sooner than later.
Well, and like we always talk about, if you're producing on the field and you're like red hot, Cliff is not going to have you out of the lineup. So if he's going to put, let's see here, John White's. If Lashley is shortstop, then your shortstop and third baseman this year only committed 3 errors total last year. Wow.
Lashley 1 and Colby 2, but Colby was playing at a slightly higher level. He was playing college ball, but still Lashley's incredible.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that, the one thing about Burris last year that I will say is, and I think he's going to have a good year like Allen. I really do. He's going to bounce back. And, but I think that because we have players at such a high level and play so well, they spoil us. They make it look easy when it's not really easy at that level. When you're talking about Division I, and we're talking about not only Division I baseball, the top of Division I baseball, years when we're preseason top 10 baseball, you have to bring it. And you think about it, we're competing guys. I mean, it's just mind blowing. We could talk a whole show, Johnny's favorite conference, the SEC, and I'm not being sarcastic. We're competing right up there with when you want to talk about the big boys. Well, we are in baseball one of the big boys. And
Dave, you're going to make people hate me, by the way, because I know a lot of people hate the SEC. They're the evil, they're ruining everything for college football. But I am an SEC fan only because I dislike the Big Ten so much that it's them again. It's the North against the South. I'm taking the South. That's my deal.
Oh, well, Allen let me just tell you, Allen is one of the biggest Big Ten fans you'll ever meet.
Well,
I don't know. He is huge with the Big Ten.
Yeah,
he has a Big Ten tailgate tour that y'all don't know about yet.
Yeah,
and he goes from like stop to stop from Happy Valley. He gets going Bloomington,
Northwestern gear all over my house, and if you believe that, I
got
half this weekend instead of snow.
Yeah, you got some oceanfront property in Arizona.
Like Johnny, if it comes down between the SEC and Big Ten, if I had to make a choice, SEC all the way. Yeah. But it's kind of like, do I like liver or whatever,
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, with baseball, it's just, I think the Pirates, and I don't know if you guys agree or not, I think their preseason rankings mean zero, nothing. I think we have been seriously disrespected in the preseason rankings. That's my opinion. I think we should have been ranked higher. And we're not ranked in a couple of publications. I think they are going to live to regret that very early in this season.
Well, yeah, you're right, though. That they don't mean a whole lot. They really don't. And I did see where we were 24th in one and 25th in 2 other ones. So some people, we're right there on the cusp, and that's fine.
Yeah, I guess last season played out until the end, until the postseason. I guess, and I can see why. We're not, but I think we're going to be much better than the 24th team in the country. But it remains to be seen. But I really think we're gonna. I think this is a top 15 baseball team. I really do.
We talked about it last week, and Alan, you were there in the room, but and I think you said it. But there's a quiet confidence. I'm telling you. Cliff Godwin was so calm at that press conference. It was kind of, and I don't mean this, and I like Coach, so it may sound like it's a dig, and it's not a dig at all. But there was like a confidence, and he's so calm that like, is this Cliff Godwin? And I don't mean that in a bad way.
Well, I'm a grown man, but there was a couple of years there I didn't really want to say much to Cliff. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I like Cliff a lot, but I rode an elevator with him. He and his dad were going somewhere a couple of years ago, and my God, I kept my mouth shut and just said hello and didn't say anything because Cliff is intense. I think Bree, has a lot to do with mellowing Cliff. I even mentioned it last year to him in the media day that I thought it looked like a kinder, gentler Cliff. He kind of gave me a look, and I got a snicker from Brian Bailey. But you really notice it this year. He's comfortable now in his skin, where I think there was some, whatever reason, I don't want to say uncomfortable, but he didn't look like he was having fun. And this year, I think he knows if things, go the way they should go, he's going to have fun.
No doubt. And hey, let's be honest and frank. We love that school so much, and we love as fans, as commentators, as we love that program so much, and we want them to succeed. It's not like we're up here throwing darts at them, right? So when we don't win, I'm going to tell you something right now. Johnny knows how I feel about it, and I needed Alan Vick. Thankfully, I have my strong son who was pushing me out of the he was like he was protecting me. But that Conway Regional, man, I was really, really angry. Just the whole vibe of the Florida coach, which that's not Coastal's fault. I didn't like the fact that Coastal was selling Coastal stuff, and we always play by the rules, and they're selling Coastal gear. I think, to be fair, some of the older fans were unfortunately not near us, but we were with a lot of young, drunk fans, and they were just, it was just really getting to me because Johnny experienced that too.
Yeah.
Didn't you, Johnny? With the Coastal fans.
Was there
definitely.
Were there ever any repercussions for the Florida coach and his behavior?
He's not coaching the team currently.
Okay.
Oh, it's not?
No.
I wasn't sure that was just something that was going to last.
Hey, I want to correct myself though, because this is the second preview that I've got these two guys mixed up. I've done it. One of them is from my backyard too. Okay, so I said that Matt Lashley was a freshman. Matt Lashley is not a freshman. He's a junior. He's coming from Indian River Community College. Grady Linehan, it's the L's. They're both very, very, promising guys. But Linehan is a freshman, and he's from my neck of the woods, the next town over. So I've been following him for a while, but I still confuse him with Matt Lashley for some reason. It's preseason, I'm in early season form, so I got to get over that one though, because Lashley Linehan is messing with me somehow for some reason.
Well, Alan Vick just told me, he texted me and said, Dave, Johnny has got to do some more bullpens. He's got to do some more bullpens.
I think he's right.
He's got to get work in, Dave. He can't just show up there game day, Dave.
I can't touch Johnny as far as knowledge and stats. So that is absolute untruth, Mr. Richmond. Absolute untruth.
And now you're gonna call me out. This is show business, man. We're trying to have a show here.
I can't let you go there with my man Johnny, because he is a guru.
Yeah, but you know what, Alan? Here's the funny thing about stats. They don't matter if you don't get them right. Actually, it's a bad deal if you give out a stat that's inaccurate. So I try never to do that. And I did call Matt Lashley a freshman, and then I was like, he's not a freshman. He went to Indian River Community College. So here we are. So I fixed that, so we can move on.
We need to actually have, how they have that on, and I'm not getting to politics, I promise. But they, they have like those fact checker things. We need to have that on the screen. So every time we check have a fact checker, and I will be like a miserable 3% right.
Some fact checkers. Some of the fans on Facebook that like to be critical and this and that and the other. And there needs to be a fact checker for some of that goes on some of the websites and the message boards. That's why here, yes, we give opinions, and that's what we're here to do, but we try to back those opinions up with factual information.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen everywhere. And I'm not throwing stones. I'm just saying, with the internet and all that, there's no accountability. You can write anything you want to write, say anything you want to say, hit send, and it's gone. And
I agree very much, Alan. But with me, I could have not said anything and hope that nobody noticed, but I'm not that way. It bothers me I don't want to give anything out that's not accurate. So I will always correct myself if I feel like I'm in error.
And one of the people we're friends with and like on this show, obviously, is John White, former pitcher for the Pirates. He said Sully at Florida is coaching, but one repercussion of his problems, he lost a future first-round pick in Denton Lord, who decommitted and then committed to Mississippi State. Wow, that is
good for Deaton Lloyd. If that was one of the reasons that he changed his mind, good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, that was just, guys, there's plenty of times when I get, and Alan's been with me to ball games, and I can't act out, obviously, in the press box. So you see the kinder, gentler Dave. But I've had my moments where I haven't been at my best. But when it comes to representing the program and being a head coach, and to go after college student athletes was one of the most classless things I'd ever seen. And I tell you what, I was thrilled to beat Florida that day and knocking them out that Sunday, because I was just like, how could you do that? Of all people, he didn't know any better, but to Parker Bird, I know it's just one of those things that he didn't, that the point is, he didn't know who that kid was. Yeah. And it could have been, like a really famous person or not famous, regardless. That was just a really bad look. And I'm disappointed with Florida. I think they're a great university, but I'm disappointed they didn't fire him. They should have fired him. That was a terrible. They have no reason to keep that coach.
Yeah. Hey, John can correct me, but I think he's not coaching for the first series of the season. He's not.
He got suspended for a few games, but
I think he got suspended for the first 3 games, maybe.
But to me,
that's what I meant by he's not currently. He's still their head coach, but he can't coach them in their opening series.
I mean, guys, we've all had our moments that we've acted the way we shouldn't and said things that we shouldn't have said. But if I'm the Florida coach and I realize that I lost my mind and I was wrong, I would have to go back privately or publicly, doesn't matter, and apologize and say, I am so sorry. I lost it. There's no excuse. I'm a grown man. I'm accountable. But that didn't happen. And to me, that was just as bad as what he did with Parker. Yeah. What he said, not going back and realizing, be a grown up, be a man, and realize you screwed up, and say, I'm sorry.
Yep. And we'll see how they. I care about East Carolina, so. Obviously, and by the way, if you don't know, for those that don't know and you have tickets, want to remind everybody that the baseball banquet is moved to next Saturday night. Off the top of my head, right? Isn't that right? It's still on the 7th, so it'll be the Saturday before the season starts. So, because of the wonderful winter wonderland we're going to have, and Alan Vick, our AMS, NWA, ASU. AARP certified
KEYMOUSE.
Yeah, certified meteorologist says that we're going to have how many inches of snow in North Carolina, in Greenville area?
Well, anywhere between 4 and 8 in Greenville, which is a substantial snow for us.
By the way, can somebody, and I'm sure there are people that have already thought about this, but anybody that's near the stadium this weekend, can somebody take some pictures of Clark LeClaire? That would be really cool to see the snow on the field.
Meteorologists are comparing this storm to possibly what happened in 1980 in March, and then what happened right before Christmas in 1989. And those are the 2 most historic snowstorms we've ever had in eastern North Carolina. And there's been some chatter among the weather people that this could be comparable.
Is the city of Greenville equipped to handle something like that, or are we gonna have to get like some backup from like the other side of 95 maybe?
We're not equipped, but we're going to be, if it happens and it comes to fruition, we're going to be having problems through probably Wednesday, because it's not going to warm up much until Wednesday. So no, I mean, this is such an unusual occurrence. No, I mean the people that do the roads and DMV and whatever, they do a great job, but no, we're nowhere near equipped to handle what they're saying that may happen Friday night, Saturday, and early Sunday.
I left this morning and I walked the dogs before I left, and I noticed that they treated the entire neighborhood. They treated every street in the neighborhood. I don't know how effective it is, but at least it's a start.
I'll say this. We're not used to it because, the mountains gets way more than we do. However, I got to give a shout out to all our officials because they are not taking this for granted. And I think that they all know. I actually live in the town of Williamson, and being a commissioner, and I'm a liaison to Public Works. So the Public Works folks are special to me. And I'm telling you, they work their tails off. Our power companies, by the way, please be patient. We all don't like when our power is out. We're so spoiled. And I'll start with me by admitting that I love my electricity. So we have our technology. We watch our ball games, or like Alan Big, there's lots of great things to watch this weekend since we don't have our baseball yet. I know the 49ers, they have that. You said it's on YouTube and also on AMC, right?
AMC, it's whatever on Optimum, whatever 251 is, American movie. It's 251. I can't. I don't.
American Movie Classics. You're correct, sir.
Yeah, but it's gonna be interesting. The history of the 49ers and the rise of the 49ers. My dad was a lineman for a number of years when I was smaller, so I really know what they go through. We really need to appreciate our linemen, our city officials, everybody involved that in times like this that does what they do, because my dad would stay up 24 36 hours straight sometimes, restoring power. So I know what they go through.
And I'm not laughing at you, Alan, or your dad. When you said your dad is a lineman, we just talked about the 49ers. I thought you were going to say your dad was a lineman for the 49ers or for the NFL. And I was like, wow, we've known each other for 30 years, and you've never told me your dad is an NFL lineman. I'm sorry. I wasn't laughing at your dad, God rest his soul. I was just laughing. That's where my mind went.
Lineman,
yeah, they're all different kind of linemen. And again, all the linemen out there, the power. You are think about the Wichita lineman, one of the best songs ever.
Definitely.
I know you love that, Alan. And Jim, by the way, there's I just saw on Facebook. I'm so random tonight. Sorry. Jimmy Webb is actually doing like I guess like a Q&A kind of thing somewhere. And unfortunately it's nowhere by, but one of the best songwriters of all time. I'm not going to get into, we could definitely do a music show somewhere.
But Jimmy,
we could do walk-up songs that from the players, but I guess we should probably, should we finish this, or are we going to have part 2 next? Are we going to have pictures next week in outfield, or
however you want? We can do pictures if you want. And outfield. You want to do outfield first?
Yeah, outfield is, that's no more clear than the second base shortstop deal. It's
let's do it like this. It's like projections. Let's just do.
Yeah, I'll just say that I expect Jack Herring to be in right field. He had some issues early in the season, and then he was a rock. He was a rock the rest of the year.
Yes.
And I expect he'll be back out there because he plays a great right field, and we need his bat, that's for sure. Center field,
there's
the guy that I spoke to last night, Jeff Sabater, lightning quick. I think he stole a couple thousand bases last year. It's ridiculous, his speed. They say that him and the other guy with a lot of speed is Linehan, Grady Linehan. Between those two, we're talking like Lane Hoover type center field action. So they're both, they both would be center fielders because of their speed and their gloves. So, we got those two. Plus, we have Braden Burris. I put him at second. I put him at shortstop. But he's also, he can play the outfield too. So you just don't know with him.
He play every position.
Yeah, and now to end it, after mentioning those three, Alex Pautier is our center fielder, and he didn't really do anything to lose the job. So, matter of fact, he had a great summer league, and he's another guy that had a couple issues fielding at the beginning of the season and really stepped it up. Plus, he's from my hometown. He's from Haymarket, Virginia.
Can't be bad, right?
Yeah, man. No, he's a Paul VI guy. But he, he's out there too. So among those four, only one of them can start, and maybe one goes to left field. Maybe Trammell plays left field because, Trammell's not going to play third base. We know that because Colby's going to be there. Unless Cliff decides to put Trammell at third, put Colby somewhere else, and who knows? That's the fun of this. And that's what Alan already alluded to. After the first weekend, we're going to know a lot more because we're going to know, like, who's going to be where. And like I said, it's going to change. Of course it's going to change, but it's going to be fun just to see the different pieces. And there's just so many ways to line them up just to see what happens. So
I imagine putting a lineup together. We're 2 weeks out, but I can't imagine, having to sit down and it's going to have to happen, obviously, but it's going to be quite a chore just to sit down and put an opening day lineup together with this team.
There's a reason why you make with your lineup card, use a pencil, because the pencil has erasers. And, I could start looking at my lineup and I'm start looking around and I'm going, well, yeah, I could put this guy here and I could put that guy there. But again, as we said earlier on the show, good problem to have. We have the depth. If you want to know anything about this team, that one word, and I'm going to tell you something else. When you have a coaching staff that has the grit, that's what they expect. That's what they demand. And the mental toughness of this game. And guess what, guys? You have to be at this level. So, again, John, I know that you're watching and listening. Talk about your time as a pitcher. You came out there and you have that command. I mean, a lot of Pirate players through the years, something they have in common is the command. They have that. Some of the players we've had have that swagger, that confidence, whatever word you want to use. But for me, I'm going with certainly this year is going to be really special. And again, we're not in the prediction business, or I don't bet on baseball. I don't bet, period. So Alan does. He's a bookie.
In all seriousness, this team has this may be a cliche, but this team does have a very high baseball IQ.
No doubt. Johnny, you want to talk about pitchers? Are you done?
Well, before we get to the pitchers, I was just going to say that among everybody we've mentioned, I was going to say I've heard good news about this player or that player, but I've not heard anything negative about any player. So I think everybody is stepping their game up. But you could go and you can find, 20 different people that know something about Pirate baseball and ask them what their thoughts are so far. I went to the Purple and Gold World Series, and this is my thought, and I've heard everybody else say the same thing. Grady Linehan, who is a freshman, by the way, and he's from my county. That guy's power and speed is just remarkable. It's like unusually skilled at this early in his career. Like, he's really picking this up at this level quickly. And I think that he's going to be a name that maybe is one of those players that people aren't familiar with right now, that they're going to, just like last season with, Braden Burris and Austin Irby. Nobody knew who they were. I didn't. And it's going to be the same way, I think, with all these guys, Lashley, Linehan, Sabater. Yeah, you're right, Al. We're in good shape. We're definitely in good shape.
John White said, I was fortunate enough to pitch to Tommy Eason and a team full of bats. 90 team is one of the best I've ever played with. Yeah, that team, John, you guys, how many was that? 50 some games they won? It's one of the best of all time. So I do know that. I think it was over 50 off the top of my head. Please help me, John. I'm not the stats guy. You know that, John. But I do know that team. What in the world?
Wasn't me.
Josh says, this has been a great show tonight. I can't quite put my finger on why, but it's been a great show. I appreciate that, Josh. I think that's a compliment. I'm not quite sure.
Well, it's mostly because of Dave and Johnny. Mostly.
No, it's because of Alan Vick.
No.
Just watch where you put that finger, Josh, please.
Oh, my gosh.
Be careful with that finger, please.
Don't put it in the socket.
Be very careful.
Yes.
Be very careful with that finger. This is going to be, you talk about that 90 team. I would love to have some of the radio broadcasts from that 90 team that John was on. That was that
special year.
That was certainly one of the 2 or 3 best ECU baseball teams ever. And that was when I was really getting into ECU baseball. I was 21, 22. And that was really the team that turned the corner for me and made me a Pirate baseball fanatic.
And then, like it's all been uphill ever since you've been.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had some really, really good baseball teams. We've had some teams that, I look back on remember 2009? We go to the Super.
Yeah. Super Regional Carolina.
I thought the 2010 team was a better team than the 2009 team, but things, for whatever reason, sometimes don't work out. But I just don't see that. I don't see that happening with this team. I think it's rock solid in every position, and I think it's the mental aspect of this team is one of its strengths. I really do.
No doubt. And if you want to put your questions or comments, don't forget to like our show, by the way. More people see it because of that fancy word. I don't even know how to spell it. Algorithm. I think I know how to say it. But the algorithm and the analytics. Alan coined that phrase, or me. I don't know which one, but we were in.
It was you.
Okay. But instead of analytics is analytics. Like, for example, if you're at the 15-yard line of your own, you should, in football, you should go for it on 4th down and 1 or 4th down and 2. That's analytics there. I don't think that would be the right call for analytics, but analytics for sure.
You got to always be aggressive. Always be aggressive.
Yeah, you go for it every time at East Carolina. You don't play for East Carolina. You don't coach East Carolina with weak hearts, sir. Right?
I've heard that.
Yeah. 1996 after South Carolina was a South Carolina game, I believe.
And we won't get on the subject, but I'm just going to tell you, I am an unabashed Steve Logan fan.
Yeah, that was a very special time. And look, like him, don't like him. We won a lot of football games.
Hey,
and I love to win.
Very quickly, here's my Steve Logan story, and I'll hush. I was producing the Brian Bailey show for several years during the Logan years.
Yeah.
Logan would walk in. He wouldn't grunt. He wouldn't nod. He wouldn't look at you. He'd sit down. I broke the ice with Logan when I found out that he loved blues music. And as soon as I started talking to Steve about blues music and artists, from that point forward, he was the nicest guy in the world.
The thing about Logan was that people didn't understand, and hopefully Pirate Al don't mind me saying this because I love Alan Powell very much. Here's Alan Powell's claim to fame with me. There's only been 2 men in the history of my life that have put me in the Cobra Clutch. One was Sergeant Slaughter in 2007 at the wrestling event I was telling you about, Alan, and then in Charlotte. And the number 2, I was at a baseball game, and all of a sudden somebody comes up from behind me and puts me in the Cobra Clutch, and I'm like, what? And I can't say what I was thinking, and then thankfully I didn't say it. And it was Alan Powell, who's a huge wrestling fan. But what I was getting at is Alan, Pirate Al used to call in, and Logan had like this, whenever you remember this, whenever he would be on the Steve Logan show on Sunday nights there in Hazard County, whatever, he would have like, he saw the red light on and he knew like we were on the air. He had this tough guy like persona. Man, when we were pre-show, post-show, commercial breaks, he was cracking jokes. He was so funny.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that people get to see the non-coaching Steve Logan, if that makes any sense, because now he doesn't have that John Wayne bravado, like tough guy image that he has to.
You ever think that when we met Steve Logan that he would be on television and on radio on a regular basis? I didn't. I mean, I had no idea he would take that route, but he's so darn good at it that that's the best talk show in my opinion, one of the best in the nation.
Yeah, I would love. I know he doesn't want to do it. I'm pretty confident on that, but I would love to have on. And I'm not the program director or the owners of the game, but I wish Coach Logan would have a daily show, a weekday show. I would love it because
I would love it. I would love it.
No doubt. But Right now he doesn't. So, Johnny, are you done now with? I'm sorry, guys. I thought
No, I had to go through another log on the. Did I miss anything? I had to go.
No.
Keep.
By
I
the
can't
way-
let this fire go out, or I'll
by the
freeze.
way, I love the fact that growing up, Alan Vick, you were there with me in the 70s. Not with me, but we grew up during that time as a kids. And in the first house I remember living in, we had that living room wood stove. And we had a wood stove in the living room. And that's why I love fireplaces to this day, is because of that wood stove.
Yep.
And you put the wood in there. And I'm going to tell you something right now. That is like, that heat from that fire, from that wood stove, will run you out of a room. It's so hot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a special kind of heat. And I'm like you. I remember backing up to that thing with a cup of snow cream with my mom and dad after a snow. So yeah, that wood, that wood fire stove thing. It's funny how things like that bring back memories.
How about that and the rabbit ears for television?
I remember during the big snowstorm of 1980, you had to go over and do the rabbit ears and do the click, 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 click.
Yeah.
I was getting WECT in Wilmington when I was living in Farmville for the first time, the blizzard of 1980. We had a lot of thunder and lightning during that particular snowstorm. That was wild. But I remember getting cable. Man, I was Elvis in 1981 when we got cable for the first time in Farmville. Man, you couldn't tell me nothing.
My grandparents, my mom's parents had it in like 78. They lived inside Durham, and I grew up in Durham. We were 1 mile outside the city limits. It took like another 5 years for cable to come out there, And so finally I was 10 years old before I had cable officially. I saw cable television, but it had to be at my mom's parents' house. The 90 team was 47-9, 17-2 record against ACC and SEC, and the year of the streaker.
Yep. And
I'm going to say that'll never be duplicated. I mean, obviously it won't. There's no way. That is an incredible, incredible record against the ACC and SEC. The whole thing's incredible.
Yeah, that is probably. I mean, if you have to put a rubber stamp on a season, like we always talk about the Peach Bowl, and that's not that's the only good season, but that 47-9 team, the 90 team is I mean, maybe y'all can help me out, John, because my fandom started really with ECU in 1986, so I was pretty much Gary Overton to the present time for baseball. So I don't know.
Is that the one that ended in Wichita or no?
I'll have to go back.
I'm asking John, I guess, because I don't know the answer, but
man, can you? Speaking of Gary Overton, I mean, I'm just going to tell you: is there a finer human being on the face of the earth than Gary Overton? What a class act Gary Overton is.
I'm a huge fan.
Fantastic. I love Coach O. There's not a better person in college athletics, retired or otherwise.
He's back, and he's back.
Yeah, I know he's doing a part-time thing now. And I think that's what Matt's going to do too, by the way. You got to lay out for 6 months to come back to part-time stuff. Don't be surprised if that's what you see with Matt Maloney, and I hope that's what happens.
Watch out, big guy. That regional ended with Citadel beating NC State, ECU Miami, and moving on to Omaha. Oh, man.
Oh, okay.
Yep. That's right.
Wow, that Citadel team.
And winning a game in Omaha, Shockerville.
I think I remember John said the Citadel team had won like 16 in a row before that.
Yeah, it's just and I'll tell you one thing, as a Pirate fan and commentator, and I can't get that off the screen for some reason. I don't know why it's doing that to me. But anyway, we'll see. Maybe it'll come back to where I can manage the show. But we've been so close. I'm sick and tired of hearing about how many regionals we've been in and never been to Omaha. I'm ready for, you want to talk about, I'm so sick and tired of hearing that. I'm so sick and tired of hearing that stat. I really am. There we go.
Yeah, that's absolutely. If that's all you know about Pirate baseball as a casual fan, they've won more games than any team that's never been to Omaha. That's a very it's true, but it's a very misleading stat. And
I can't agree with you more, Alan. It's a lazy stat. Like, tell us something else. We've heard it 1,000 times. You can't lead off with that every time, but it seems like they do. But yeah, tell us something, that other people that they don't know about how good, we've been. I'd love to hear that.
Like Rufus with Shaka Khan, tell me something good.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So are we done with the, we'll do more in depth, obviously, as we go through the season, but Johnny, do you are you done with the outfield? Do you want to move in on the pitchers?
Yeah. We got another week before we have to do the Xavier.
You want to save the pitchers for next week?
Let's do the pitchers next week, because I just, at this point, we've spent, we've done the position players, and then it would give us a quick chance to talk about the, are you aware of like the walk-up songs? What players are doing what?
Yeah,
I haven't looked at it like I should have. I'm sorry, John.
Okay. We can table that for next week too.
My favorite, and I'm just going to go ahead, whoever's using "I Was Made for Loving You" by Kiss as a walk-up song. I think that's fantastic.
Well, that would be Mr. Charlie Hoagland, one of our new pitchers.
Yeah, that's great. And before we leave, I want to ask you guys, if you were playing baseball at East Carolina, what would your walk-up song be?
Oh man, I have never, honestly, I've never thought about that. I'll have to.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it. I'm going out on a limb here. And, but I don't know what it is, but it just like when you think about a walk-up song or entry song, like for wrestling, for example, the Road Warriors had Iron Man, right? That's not the song I'm going to pick, but I'm just saying that it has to be something that really maybe fits you or it pops. And I know this is going to shock Alan when I say this song. I love the Salt and Pepper and In Vogue song, What a Man. I love that song.
Yeah, What a Man would be my number 2. My number 1 walk-up song would be Mac Davis's It's Hard to Be Humble.
Oh, yeah. Well, what about you, Johnny? What would be your song?
I'm not sure. I'd have to think about that. Probably something with high energy, and probably something maybe a little newer.
I know. Wait a minute. He is Alan. Johnny Robertson is. I thought that I was a big Southern rock fan, and I know Alan is, but I think Johnny Robertson's got me beat on that.
But there's other stuff out there. I don't just listen to that. I mean, that's what I love that the most. And I'm still like one of those dummies that go out and see Marshall Tucker and the Atlanta Rhythm section that have like one remaining member. And
look at our age. I mean, that's what's going to happen. First of all,
I know. Leonard Skinner, I've seen, a lot. And I like, with these bands though, I don't like songs that everybody else like you hear 1,000 times. I like to dive deeper into the catalog.
I agree.
I agree. That's where you see where the talent is. And I'll say that with Leonard Skinner and Marshall Tucker. They're some of my favorite songs. They're ones that people probably have never even heard before.
I will say this, as a Southern rock fan, there's one song, please do not pick. And that is, you probably know where I'm going, but don't do Molly Hatchet.
Flirting with Disaster.
Please do not do that song, because that would not be good for baseball.
You're probably right about that.
Great song, just not for our baseball team.
I love Colby Wallace's. He's my number one. He's got my vote for best.
What is it?
Okay, this song came out probably 12 or 13 years ago. It was in some Marvel comic movie, but it's called Bubble Double Trouble by MIA. And I'm telling you, man, that first 40 seconds of that song, it's got like a little reggae groove to it. You should go to YouTube and listen to it. It's excellent. But what I love about it is he's telling everybody they're having double trouble with Colby. He's going to get him from the mound, and he's going to get him from the batter's box. So I like his message, double trouble, bubble. And he's going to be double trouble for a lot of teams this year. And I just think very creative. It's a great song. And I think he gets the blue ribbon. I do like courtesy of the red, white, and blue, but because Toby Keith, he deserved that. Was Brett Antolick. I'm reading phonetically here. Brett Antolik chose that one. I thought that was cool. And then, Parker Bird came up with a song called War by Caleb Burton. And it sounds like, it doesn't sound like an inspirational, song would be called War, but he's talking about the war, with faith against the devil. And it's is anybody surprised that Parker would come up with something inspirational like that? But that's another great one. And I hope we get to hear it a couple times this season.
No doubt. And it's last year, so we definitely want to. It'd be really cool to have another moment like we've had a couple of times with him already and Clark LeClaire. By the way, guys, this is definitely true. Josh Thomas he definitely he's on to something here. He said, we're going to break the Jello shot record when we make it there at that famous bar that they have.
Oh, yeah. Well, LSU's got nothing on us.
No, that's right. They may have purple and gold, but they have nothing on us for sure. And Drew Bassnight, imagine when Pirate Nation invades Omaha. I'm going to tell you something right now. I can tell you right now that can you imagine two things? The price of a hotel in Omaha and the price of a ticket to get in when the Pirates get there, because people are going to know this is a special moment for our program and we've been long overdue. I think it's going to be funny. I think there's a lot of people. It's like Woodstock, Alan and Johnny. There's about 2 million people that went to Woodstock. And when the reality was 100,000. I mean, I can't remember the exact amount. Who really knows the exact amount? But everybody from that generation. Oh yeah, man, I was at Woodstock, man. And the same thing for the first time we go to Omaha.
Yep.
There's a lot of people that went to Omaha that never left North Carolina.
Yeah, I won't miss that for sure. If I have to sleep in the back of the bed of my pickup truck with a little camper on it or something, I'm not missing that. If I have to camp, if I have to sleep in a tent, I don't care.
I could be wrong, but I believe there was a promise made years ago, and I think I'm correct on this, that when the Pirates make it to Omaha, the games will be broadcast on a 100,000 watt radio station.
That's correct.
So I think I heard that if ECU goes to Omaha, when that happens, maybe that the games will be on 107.9.
Oh wow.
Yep.
How about doing that every year?
But I'm wrong. I apologize, but I think I remember hearing that promise.
I love this. Josh says we secure an Airbnb every year just in case we make it, and then you just cancel out on them, Josh. Is that what you do? Like, do you give them like a little change? At least give them something for the weekend, or how does that work? Or you just wait till like 24, 48 hours notice and say, "I'm sorry, we didn't make it." Well, I mean, I guess after the regional you can let them know, or super regional, but
yeah.
That's really cool. I haven't heard that, but Josh is a tremendous fan. He is one of the best. So guys, so what do you think? Go ahead, Johnny.
I was just going to say, it looks like I have a place to pitch my tent now. If Josh might get an Airbnb,
Well, here's what I was thinking too. Like if I have to sleep in the parking lot, and shower at the YMCA, if that's what we have to do, we'll do it. So my sister has been to Omaha more than me. She worked in the athletic department at Florida State when Dave Hart was down there. And he says, yes, we have an agreement with a guy, and he's always able to rent it to someone else. Okay. All right. That's cool, Josh. You gave us an inside scoop on what we need to do. So what we need to do, guys, is get a whole bunch of guys, and we'll chip in the money. And then when we do get to go, we'll be like in that small house or whatever it is, the Airbnb. But whatever it is, it'll be definitely worth it wherever we are there in Omaha. And Othello Meadows told us years ago on the show that whenever we do make it to Omaha, he's going to find it. He told us about a sports bar that he's going to help us secure, and we'll do a show from Omaha. So there you go.
Omaha will turn purple and gold.
I'm telling you that Omaha has never experienced Pirate Nation, and they're going to feel it whenever they. He says, start looking for them now, though. Okay. We can do that. We can do that.
And Dave, nobody's ever experienced you and I with about a half a dozen Jello shots or more. So
I don't even know if I've ever done it.
I'll let
you have all.
Well, Dave, I'll tell you what. If you're going to Tuscaloosa,
yes, I am.
We'll take you to Harry's Bar. You can get a paint bucket and some Jello shots. That'll get you primed for Omaha because they know how to do Jello shots and they know how to do all kinds of drinking stuff in Tuscaloosa. So if you're going down there, it'll get you conditioned. All
right, I already have my tailgate spot picked out in Lot D. Josh Thomas, he says so. I'm telling you, he's hardcore, man. We got to give props where props are due.
And he's a super fan, and that's great. That's great.
No doubt, and we're going to look forward to the season, fellas. I'm very excited, and like I said, Johnny had a great point earlier in the show that let's go ahead and get the bad weather over now, and then on Friday the 13th, February, again, wear your favorite horror costume, wear your favorite Halloween costume, and they're like, why are all these people coming in with a Halloween costume?
Plus, it's Valentine's weekend.
That's right, so you can take your Valentine to the game. And do we have any promotions on that on Valentine's?
That's not a good thing, though, to be honest with you.
What?
It says I love you, like catching a foul ball at it.
The Valentine's
Day. Hey,
thing.
baby, I was going to take you to the really nice restaurant, but here's a baseball.
Yeah, here's a base. Have a hot dog, my darling.
Yeah.
The nachos I hear here are great. So we'll try the nachos. That's
I took her to a couple of Pirate baseball games on opening weekend, and it was so cold. I don't think she'll ever go back. So,
Lisa, we love Lisa, but I can understand that.
Yeah, no, it was brutal.
Alex and Bubba and Kyle and Jessica, we went. Oh man, that was 2019, I think, somewhere around there, and he was about 6 at the time. And I'll never forget that we had him all bundled up. He looked like Randy from Christmas Story. He had so much on, but we bundled him up, and it's just weird. Like that weekend is like so awesome, but then you feel like you're at a football game. It doesn't feel like. I mean, I'm enjoying the baseball. Don't get me wrong, but as far as the feel, like I said, it figuratively and literally, it's like, are we playing baseball? Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We're playing.
Ole Miss to open 21. That was a very cold weekend as well. Plus, you're still coming off COVID. There was so much that was so weird about that weekend, where you could sit, where you couldn't sit, and yada yada yada. But that was an extremely cold weekend as well.
Yeah, we've had some great weather though. We really have. But the only ones I really remember being cold at was Bryant, and that was really only 2 of the 3 games. One game was really nice, and then it wasn't even opening weekend. I think it was the weekend after the LeClaire Classic was St. Mary's. I had to leave. I was so cold, I had to leave.
Yeah,
I watched it.
Remember we played CLA, and I don't know if it was in the LeClaire or just as a series, and Tommy John came to throw out the first pitch, and he threw out the first pitch. It was sleeting in 2009, early in.
Wait a minute, Alan, did he have to have Tommy John surgery again?
Dave will be here all week.
Yeah, thank you.
Nobody else will be, but he'll be here all week.
Yeah, try the liver. Forget the veal. North Carolina is weird. Showing up on opening day when there's still snow on the ground. And some years I've shown up in a T-shirt. Exactly, Josh. If you don't like the weather, just wait 15 minutes, like they say in North Carolina, because.
Yeah, think about all these northern teams that have to stay on the road for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks at the beginning of the season, and how difficult that must be, really.
Yeah, it can make or break it, for sure.
Our first opponent, Xavier, last season, they were on the road for 22 of their first 23 games. Ooh. This season, no, they were on the road for 23 of their first 23 games. I'm sorry. This season, they're on the road for 17 of their first 18. So it's just insane. But their coach, and they're playing top 12 teams, and their coach is like, we're not going to be one of those teams at the end where, well, your schedule, like you said, Alan, they're never going to have to worry about their schedule being an issue. And he said, then it's up to us to win a couple of those games. So that's their strategy. And hopefully that doesn't happen, in Greenville. I don't think it will, but they're a good team.
Yeah, you got Troy coming into we talk about the schedule later, but there ain't no cupcakes.
No. Troy's a great team as well. You're right.
All right, and one more thing, Alan and Johnny, before we get out of here, and that is at Bowman Gray. Is that still going on for this weekend?
They moved everything to Sunday. Is the last thing I read, which I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or not. But yeah, they moved everything to Sunday. But it's awful. I mean, I love snow, and I'm looking forward. But so many great things were scheduled for this weekend, like the fishing show at the Greenville Convention Center has been canceled, and Joe Albee and Perry Bagley worked so hard to put that together. And that's the one downside, to this weather is a lot of cool things are not going to happen because of the weather. It's unfortunate.
Oh, I didn't realize that was even happening. The fishing show.
Mid-Atlantic, fishing show was this weekend, and they were trying to make a decision, and they had to make a decision by, I think, lunchtime that it was canceled. And it's just a bummer.
Are you a fisherman, Alan?
I am not. My father was.
Okay.
I'm not. I don't have the patience to fish, unfortunately.
Okay. All right.
But yeah.
I withhold my question for somebody else then.
I love flounder, but I've never been a fisherman.
Okay. Fair enough.
He likes somebody else to catch it, and he eats it. So
that's right.
Why flounder?
Yeah, that's right. I don't worry about the labor. Just show me the baby.
He missed the joke. I said, why flounder?
Johnny, what'd you say?
I said, why flounder?
Well, I had a girlfriend, but I lobster and never flounder.
I was doing an Animal House setup for you there.
Yeah, flounder. Yeah, I knew where you were going, Johnny. With that, Animal House is a classic, one of the best. In fact, our alum of our show, Bubba Rosenbaum, that's one of his favorite movies.
Oh yeah,
well,
he knows the entire dialogue, I think.
Yeah, he's got it memorized.
And speaking of movies, and this is all I'm going to say, if you guys have never seen a movie called Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox.
I have.
That's one of the funny with John C. Reilly. That's one of the movies I've ever seen in my life.
I think I've seen it on. Seen it. I have seen it. I think I have it on DVD, as a matter of fact, somewhere.
If you're a music geek like I am, it is absolutely hilarious.
It's a funny movie.
Hilarious.
For sure. That, and with the bad weather, that you can be watching a lot of movies, and obviously, unfortunately, we don't have. Is the Pro Bowl this weekend?
I haven't watched it in years. I wouldn't know.
I can't remember now. I used to love it, and now it's just they've really. I mean, it's gone from bad to worse. Like I would just wish they would bring the football game back, this 3-on-3 or the flag football, and I don't know. I like that kind of stuff. Like you were talking about, Alan, when you're talking about the big thing there at Bowman Gray this weekend with NASCAR, when they have like a lot of weekend activities. I think that kind of stuff is cool. It's kind of like the icing on the cake. The cake is going to be your game, but you have all these other little events that like really make a nice weekend. But the Pro Bowl has just been, oh my gosh, it's anyway.
I think the women's game has been moved to 3:00 tomorrow in Charlotte. Is that correct? I think I'm correct.
You may be, and they've been doing very well. They lost the other night, but Josh says you don't want none of this, do we?
I love Josh. You are the man, and that is just watch that movie if you've never seen it. It's
funny. I haven't seen it. I saw it when it first came out. It was really, and
Jeff Diamond and I went to see it in the theater right before Christmas in 2007, and I laughed so hard it was embarrassing.
Oh man! All right, we're gonna get out of here because we're it's about 10:00 is my bedtime. So not really, but if you want to believe that, then you can believe that. So do you guys have any final thoughts? Well, I'll start with Johnny, being Haymarket, Virginia. By the way, Johnny, is the power still on? Do you have like heat?
Oh yeah. See, that's the thing. In Greenville, power, everything's underground, and I feel fairly secure that there's not going to be a power outage down there. Up here, anytime there's ice, it normally results in a power outage that could last for an hours or days. So that didn't happen. So I'm happy about that. So I just hope that Greenville gets spared to some point. Yeah, here's the thing. I like bad weather. I think Kyle's the same way. I like to be in bad weather, when I'm at home and I'm safe. Like I like thunderstorms. I like snowstorms. I like all that. And now I feel like I'm missing out on this Greenville blizzard because I should be down there, experiencing it firsthand. But I had to come back here, and my wife elected to stay behind because she doesn't believe that they said that last weekend and it didn't happen. So it's not going to happen this weekend. So we don't even have a snow shovel down there. So I'm just hoping that Greenville's spared, and so I don't have to, spend hours on the phone with her trying to get her through it.
Greenville Utilities does a good job, and they're pretty spot on. Like Josh says about getting the power back on quick. So if it does go out, and again, shout out to all our law enforcement, all the people with DOT. Please help me if I'm forgetting somebody, you guys, but law enforcement, EMS, firefighters, anybody that's with civil servants, obviously our folks with utility, with the power, they're working their tails off, and we can't say enough, and we'll probably say that again on Sunday night, but we appreciate you very, very much.
I want to encourage everybody to take care of your pets.
Yes.
Warm place to be. They suffer in this weather just like we do. So please look after your pets and make sure that they have some warmth and a place to stay warm, please.
Thank you. Make a joke. I thought he was going to make a joke about something.
No, I'm with Alan on that.
I know he's not joking. I was getting ready for Alan is like the king of one-liners, and I thought the way you looked, I was waiting for the punchline.
And Alan, that is the reason why my wife didn't join me on returning to Virginia, because I have to figure out a way to make like a path or a maze or something in the backyard. It's crusty, frozen. I'm thinking of getting a flamethrower or something. I don't know how I'm going to do it, because, or maybe just like a metal hoe and just like break the ice and then just try. I don't know, but I got to make it. They can't go outside. There's no way that a dog could be in my backyard right now. There's no way. So I got to work on that. And yeah, you're right. I love that you mentioned the animals, because I hate to see dogs outside when it's cold out.
Yeah.
If anybody leaves their dogs outside, they deserve to have to endure the same conditions that the animal endures.
That's right. When it's like 17 degrees outside, and that's and then the wind chill this morning, like some of these wind chills like get down to like the real feel like 4 or 5 degrees. And just imagine, we don't like being out there for a handful of minutes, much less hours and hours and hours. And I hear people that are so ignorant go, well, they got a coat on. I'm like, I know they have fur. I get that, but it's still cold as all get out. Like, I'm sure they can survive. I'm sure they can find some, shelter, some comfort. I'm just simply saying that when you love that animal, they're like our family. And our dog, we've got cats, and even guinea pig. Well, the guinea pigs are obviously inside, but the cats come in and out. And when my male cat, he loves to be outside, but like this morning, I didn't let him outside. It was 17, I think it was 17 degrees when I woke up this morning, 20, somewhere around there. So I'm not gonna let my cat, it only got up to 40 today, but the first few hours were a little tough this morning.
If you leave your animal outside in this weather, you don't need an animal. You don't deserve to have an animal.
Yeah, Alan, I wonder why people have dogs that don't even take care of them, or don't even attempt to take. I just don't even know why they even have one. Is it? Yeah. I don't get it. My dog, I have a coonhound that I got from the Pitt County shelter, and I don't, he was a mess when I got him, but he's got his own double bed. Like, he's got his own human bed that he sleeps in. So he's well taken care of. And I know that everyone's not going to go to that extreme, and nor should they. That's probably a little bit much on my part, but
you love that animal, so you're going to do everything you can to make sure that that animal loves you unconditionally. So you need to love it unconditionally.
True.
That's what I say. I feel like what's the Joan Emery from the San Diego Zoo that used to be on Carson.
Oh yeah,
She was great. She was great.
yeah. That's some of the best Johnny Carson stuff ever. Is when he had her on, and the look that he had when those animals that's priceless. I hadn't thought about her in many, many years, and to see the way Carson would look at the camera and be able to sell that, man, classic television for sure. All right. I know this has been classic television for you guys. Appreciate you very much. We're going to be back. Don't forget, we'll be back on Sunday night with hopefully Kyle is stocked up. He left us for he sold out. He left us for the grocery store. The grocery store is more important than a show. Are you kidding me?
There's no more Little Debbie snack cakes in a 20-mile radius of time now because of the impending snow.
Where would you go, Dave, if you lived in Jason? Like, what would be like? Would you have to go to Goldsboro? Where would you go?
I would think Goldsboro.
Kinston.
Yeah. Kinston or Goldsboro one.
Snow Hill has a Snow Hill.
Yeah. A Piggly Wiggly, they do, don't they? Snow Hill does.
Yeah. I mean, you can't beat Piggly Wiggly. They need to be a sponsor on our show. Don't you remember, Alan, the Piggly Wiggly post-game scoreboard we did for a few years?
Absolutely. I love the Hoggly Woggly.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to have them on the Sports Objective. If you want to be a part of the Sports Objective, you can simply email us at thesportsobj@gmail.com. Don't forget, you can like us on Facebook. We're on Twitter, Instagram. We are on MySpace. Not really. But anyway.
Next week, we'll talk about some pitchers. We got some, too. We got plenty of them.
And we'll have Justin Butts back, and hopefully we have Kyle back off of injured reserve or shopping reserve or whatever he is. He finally just got out of his meeting. Okay, Justin, we forgive you. He was working on his umpires meeting, so he had to be there. And
that's important.
Yep.
Totally,
Justin. But you had a good reason. You had a good excuse.
Food line wasn't bad at 2 p.m. He stocked up. Josh did on plenty of pirate beverages for the weekend. And I tell you what, there you go. There you have it. He's going to watch snow and he's going to drink a beer. So
Josh don't drink no more, but he don't drink no less either. So,
all right, you guys, please be safe. And if you have to drive extra slow. Please don't be that guy. I got a 4-wheel drive, baby. Watch this. Famous last words, and you're in a ditch. Please take your time, be safe, and buy a lot of your bread and milk at the local Dollar General. Be safe, absolutely, Justin. We'll get out of here. We'll be on the other side of the storm, I believe, or most of it, I believe, when we see you again on Sunday night. Alan, come on back with us. We'd love to have you back if you can on Sunday night.
All right. I appreciate you guys having me, and I appreciate the invite. And seriously, want everybody to be safe and make it through the storm. And just be careful, be safe, be smart, and just be careful.
All right, Johnny, you have anything before we get out of here?
No, I just agree with what Alan said. Everyone be safe out there. We want you all around on Sunday. So see you then.
All right. If it's Sunday night, it's the Sports Objective. We'll be back with you at 8:00 on Sunday night. Until then, please be safe, and we'll see you on the other side of the storm. Good night, everybody, and go Pirates.
You're watching the Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.